For the second time in just 2 weeks, the Justice Department has secured an indictment against a political opponent of President Trump. New York Attorney General Letitia James now faces fraud charges. She called the move a weaponization of the justice system. Listen.
These charges are baseless, and the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any cost.
CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand joins us now from the White House with more. So, Natalie, good morning. Tell us about this indictment. What's inside?
Good morning, Errol. Well, as you know, this indictment comes after President Trump publicly told or urged the DOJ on social media and public statements to look into or go after some political opponents, including AG James and also former FBI Director James Comey, who was arraigned this week. Recall, Attorney General James led a civil fraud investigation against Trump a couple of years ago. So the new charges against her were announced by the new interim U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia. That's Lindsay Halligan, a White House aide and former personal attorney of President Trump. Recall, the previous prosecutor in that post did not pursue these cases and ultimately resigned last month. The indictment returned by a federal grand jury yesterday accuses James of bank fraud and also false statements to a financial institution, the DOJ alleging that she misrepresented how her home in Norfolk, Virginia was going to be used in order to get a lower interest rate. Now, James's attorney says she forcefully denies the charges, and Democratic lawmakers are calling this indictment politically motivated. Take a listen to Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer.
This is what tyranny looks like. Donald Trump has turned the Justice Department into his personal attack dog to go after his political enemies. This is tyranny. This is outrageous. Every American should be horrified, absolutely horrified, about what has happened.
Now, U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan argues the facts and law in this case are clear, saying in a statement, quote, "No one is above the law. The charges as alleged in this case represent intentional criminal acts and tremendous breaches of the public's trust." James is scheduled to have an initial court appearance in Virginia on October 24th. Errol.
All right, Natalie Brand with the latest. Natalie, thanks. Now, on the indictment of New York Attorney General Letitia James, CBS News Justice correspondent Scott MacFarlane joins us from Washington with more on all of that. Scott, good morning to you. You know, the New York AG says these charges are baseless. Help us understand what they're based on exactly.
These are two federal charges in Norfolk, Virginia, accusing the Attorney General of the state of New York, the top law enforcement officer in the state of New York, of bank fraud and false statements. A Trump ally inside the administration pushed to have this case investigated and brought, alleging that James signed paperwork to purchase a home in Norfolk, Virginia, arguing it was her primary residence to get a better mortgage rate. That was a mistake she quickly cleared up, it would seem, and she has denied those allegations, but nevertheless, it has manifested itself into a bank fraud case and a false statements case. Her attorneys say they will be vindicated in court. She has consistently denied this allegation. We know one thing in particular about this case, Errol. It was brought by a new U.S. attorney handpicked by the president in the Eastern District of Virginia, and the case was brought just days after the president publicly posted he wants a criminal case against Letitia James. It is quite possible there's an argument made here that this is a selective prosecution when James tries to get this case dismissed, which is almost inevitable later this month.
And on that point, Scott, we all saw that message President Trump sent publicly to his attorney general saying specifically Adam Schiff, Letitia James, James Comey need to be prosecuted. So what case does the New York AG have in defending this and claiming it's political, not something illegal that she's done?
I'm glad you asked. The motion to dismiss this case, that would be almost inevitable from Letitia James. It's hard to forecast how that motion will be received by the court. But we saw James Comey, the FBI director, say in court through his defense counsel on Wednesday, he's going to seek to have his criminal case dismissed as a vindictive, selective political prosecution, because that social media post preceded these cases against James Comey and Letitia James just by days, and both were brought by the same U.S. attorney in Virginia who was appointed days ago by the president, succeeding a U.S. attorney who would not bring forward the cases.
All right, we'll watch that closely. Scott, thanks so much.